all day.
What's going on, guys? I wanted to give you a little bit of a tip here. I know that a lot of people might run into this whenever they're on Amazon and they've listed some products and they've FBA'd those products, and then they get a message that that they've got stranded inventory. And what I've noticed is sometimes this will happen whenever you've sold something and then you sold it and you're clear of this item for weeks and weeks and you're not going to refill that ASIN, so you go ahead and delete the listing. And then a month later, somebody gets a return and does a return, and then now you've got that inventory back in stock, but you've got no listing to go along to correspond with that inventory that was sent back. And so if the item was sent back in resellable condition, then sometimes it'll just go right into stranded inventory. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out how to get that stuff out of stranded inventory, because when you go in there and you say like, hey, I want to create a new listing, you click create a new listing, you create a new listing, you put it up there, the listing just stays empty with zero, even if you convert it to FBA. But I figured out how to make sure that this stranded inventory gets put back into your inventory and that you can resell it again. And I actually got a lot of sales doing this because I had a lot of stranded inventory from returns over the last month or two or whatever, however long it lasted before they disposed of them. And that's the other thing, is that they'll dispose of them if you just ignore it for too long. And so what I was doing was just creating removal orders for it, right? Because it was stranded, I couldn't get a listing back up for it. And it was kind of a tedious process, and it took a while to then get your item back, hope that it wasn't damaged in transit back to you, because Amazon isn't the best. I mean, I'm a better shipper than Amazon is, and I believe you probably are too when it comes to protecting items and making sure they don't break on the way. But yeah, so they would, they'd send it back to you, and if you were lucky, it came back undamaged, and you could send it back in with another FBA shipment and create a new listing that way for it. But there is a trick. The trick to this is to make sure that when you copy the ASIN and relist the item, you go ahead and also match the SKU from the original listing. And so I'm going to pull up the page here. I don't have any stranded inventory to do this, to give you a full example, but I can at least show you with one item how exactly you would do this so that you can get this. And honestly, it puts it back into your inventory probably within 15 to 30 minutes. So this is a really good trick. This is how you do it. And the trick to it is to make sure that whenever you relist the item, that you put the old SKU in there. Otherwise, it's going to generate a new one, and then that inventory is not going to match back up, and it's not going to go back into your inventory. It's going to stay in stranded. So the trick to this is to copy the ASIN, go add a new listing, create a new listing for that item, and then while you're creating that listing, you put it into merchant fulfilled, and you copy the SKU from the old listing, and you make sure that that's the SKU for the listing that you're creating, so that you're basically creating the same exact listing that you had that you deleted before. And then you're gonna submit that, and it's gonna show up as a merchant fulfilled item, and then you just go in and you convert that to FBA. And once you convert it to FBA, you don't click convert and send, you just click convert. And when you convert it, within 15 to 20 minutes, they'll have your inventory showing back in that listing. And so it's a really good trick. I'm going to go ahead and give you just a quick, show you a little bit of how I do this. I can show you where the pages are that you need to go access to be able to do this. Okay, so for starters, you're going to go into the Manage Inventory tab, and then once you're in there, you'll have this tab here, Fix Stranded Inventory. You'll actually see a number next to it showing how many items you have in stranded inventory, but it won't look exactly like this. But once you go to Manage Inventory and click that, this will pop up. I didn't really want you to see a whole lot other than this, so I couldn't show you everything there. But what you're going to see here is that it shows you that this item's in stranded inventory. It gives you this tab over here to relist. Create a new listing is down there. Do a couple other things that really don't work. You can delete the item or create a removal order down there. None of those are really the option that you want, though, because you're looking to actually get this item back into inventory without having to send it the whole way back to yourself. You want it to just show up. So you can see here it shows one is available, so you know that if it had a listing that you could make that available. So the first thing you do is you want to go over here and copy the ASIN for what you have. So you can see that it shows you the SKU, and that's what you're going to copy second. But first, you're going to copy this ASIN here, and then you're going to take it over to an add a listing page. So when you go to the add a listing page, whoops, I just clicked that out of there, but that's actually what the item was. You can also click that to see what the item is if you're not sure. But then you want to go in here and add a product, and then you can just paste your ASIN there, because it's going to pull up that item, so you can see it's the same item. And then you're going to choose the, that it's new, and sell this product. And then when you click that, it's going to start to create a new listing for you. And here is where the trick comes in. So you saw this, and I have to back out of there because I want to make sure that I copied the right SKU. So I back out of here. I go ahead and copy the original SKU. You see it here, not the FN SKU, the SKU that corresponded with your seller tab. And then when you go back over here to listing, you paste that in there. And then you go ahead and put your offer price, which I believe here we're going to do $12.99 to match the low. And then you want to do the same, if you don't do the same condition, it won't work as well. And then you want to put 0 here. You're merchant fulfilling this at 0. And then once you click save, it's pretty much done. You've created your listing. You can see that the updates have been submitted. You can go ahead, and then once that is done, you go and look at that listing, and then you need to convert it to FBA. And once you convert it to FBA, it'll be ready to sell. It'll pop back into your inventory within a couple minutes, and that'll be that. You'll be good to go. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully this helps you get some of your stranded inventory back into available inventory so that you can sell it. If you know any other tips there, go ahead and comment. And if you liked this video, go ahead and like it or share it with a friend if it was helpful for you. But in the meantime, keep on flipping.